Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. This is going to be in two parts. First of all, we'll start out by going over what I'm reading now and how far behind I am in my planned Cosmere reread. And then we are going to be picking October's TBR out of this Sorcerer's hat that I have purchased off Amazon for $7. This is a brand new Sorcerer's hat, which you can see by the fact that the stars are already starting to fall off and the moon is kind of having some shedding issues, but I was looking for a fun TBR game to do, and this was suggested by one of my subscribers, so I'll go over the rules for how this is going to work, but first I want to talk about the Cosmere. So first, there are two books that I'm reading right now. I have just started The Way of Kings, which I meant to read last month, so I will be finishing that this month. I tried to go straight into it after Warbreaker and just found that I was actually, if you can believe it, a little burned out on Sanderson's writing, so I read a few other things in the meantime. So this I will be catching up on this month. Then, to be fully caught up with where I need to be for the Cosmere reread, I will be reading all of these. It's totally gonna happen. So after I finish Way of Kings, we have Words of Radiance. So I needed to buy a new copy of this as well, and I was a little skeptical about the mass market paperback experience that I'm having with Way of Kings, so I got this larger paperback version, and I have Oathbringer in hardcover, and I will have Rhythm of War in hardcover as well. So this is going to completely drive all the people that carefully curate their editions on their bookshelves completely bonkers. For me, I just tend to buy whatever edition is handy, and my bookshelves look really insane, but I've never minded. So other than the first two Stormlight books, I have the second Mistborn trilogy here. Again, we have two in hardcover because I bought them in hardcover when they came out. And then we have The Alloy of Law, which I just bought in paperback because I seem to have given away my copy at some point and I don't know where it is or who I gave it to, so I had to get a new copy. So technically, if I wanted to do a Cosmere reread purely chronologically, I should wait and read these until after I've reread the entire Stormlight archive so far, because that's where they fall in the Cosmere chronology. But I don't think it's really going to matter, and these are all pretty short, so hopefully I'll be able to get through them this month. So there's one other book I'm reading right now. I'm doing a Crime and Punishment read-along, so this is something totally different from all the fantasy I usually read, but I haven't read Crime and Punishment in, I guess it's probably been about 15 years at this point, because I read it in high school and I had read it once before I read it for class in high school. This is part of a Crime and Punishment read-along that's being hosted by Spinelli Speaks and Christy Lewis, Dostoevsky in Space. So that's been really fun so far. I haven't been able to be totally caught up because, you know, Cosmere, but I'm doing my best and I'm going to try to catch up really soon so I can be part of this read-along more fully. So now let's go over what I'm going to do with this Sorcerer's hat. I have, as you can see, a bunch of slips of paper, and these are going to get folded up and go into the Sorcerer's hat, and I am going to pick 3 to 4 of them. So I will go through the options that I've given myself here, and I also have a couple of special ones that I'll tell you about at the end. So a few of these are just continued series, the next books and series that I'm already reading. I wish I could read all of them this month, but I literally don't have time, so I'm just going to pick a couple of things from the hat and see what I get to do this month. I've also put in a few new releases that I'm really interested in reading, but also probably don't have time to read all of this month. And then I have a couple other special ones that I'll tell you about. So we have The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons, which is the next book in the Chorus of Dragons series. I read the first one. What's the first one called? The Ruin of Kings. Okay. First one, The Ruin of Kings, had kind of a mixed review of it. You can check that out if you want. So I really wanted to read this in September, didn't quite get to it, still want to continue the series, so we're putting that into the hat. Next, we have The Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. This is the sequel to Senlin Ascends. I am super excited to read this book. I really hope I pick this one, and I really want to get to it in October, but again, I just have a lot on my plate this month, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll get lucky and pick it out of the hat. Next, we have Ruin by John Gwynne. This is the next book in The Faithful and the Fallen. I read Valor last month. Again, I'm really enjoying this series. I would really love to read this in October, but we'll see what the Magic Hat has to say. Also, again, we have the word ruin, which is going to be really hard for me to say for a month, so... Next, I have Pocket Apocalypse by Shannon McGuire. This is the 4th book in the Encrypted series. I have been reading these pretty quickly. The Encrypted series has just been a really fun thing to throw in between other things that I'm reading. The books are generally quite short, they're light, they're fun and entertaining and silly, so even if I don't draw this out of the hat, honestly, there's a solid chance I'll end up reading this just as a break from something more serious this month. I decided to also give myself something that was a series I was not planning to continue anytime soon, just to make things a little more spicy. So I've added Caliban's War, which is book 2 of The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I read Leviathan Wakes this summer as part of the Hugo Awards reading project. I liked it pretty well, and I plan to continue the series at some point, but I wasn't planning to do it anytime soon, so I thought this would be sort of a fun one to throw in there. I've also added in a few new releases, which are things that I really would like to make time for, but I don't think I have time to read all of them this month, so we'll see what I end up drawing. I put in To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I mentioned this in my anticipated new releases video. It's something that I'm really curious about because honestly I was not a big Aragon fan, but I'm just really curious to see how his writing has evolved over the years, especially because he apparently worked on this book for like a decade. It is apparently epic science fiction and it's been getting pretty decent reviews from what I've seen, so I'm very curious. I've also included Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This is the first novel that she's written since Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I really loved that book. This is apparently something completely different. Apparently it's pretty short and pretty weird, and I don't know, I think it could be interesting if I end up drawing this one. The last new release I stuck in there is the new Naomi Novik book, A Deadly Education, which is the first book in the Stallman series. This is one I'm very excited to check out as well. I don't own it or have it from the library, so I'll have to go get it if I draw this one, but this is definitely one I'm looking forward to, so honestly I'm kind of hoping for this one as well. Then I have a few things here that are not the titles of books. I have just written some extra instructions. So first we have Wildcard. If I draw this, it means I can pick any book. It could be one that I want to draw and haven't drawn, or it could just be anything at all. Then I have given myself a free swap, so I get to draw again from the hat if I pick something I'm not happy about. And then the last one, which is probably the scariest, is commenter choice. So if I draw this, then the first person to comment with a title, I will read that book. Now, it has to be appropriate. It can't be something that I am like incapable of reading, like, you know, not in English. I reserve the right to veto things, but I will read the first thing that somebody leaves in a comment. And now we have an extra special thing that I'm going to throw in the hat. I asked my husband to pick any 2 books, and he has already folded these up, so I don't know what's on here. I don't know what he has given me, but I asked him to pick anything, so if I draw these, then we'll see what he decided to put in the hat for me this month. I asked him to go do this, and he was kind of laughing evilly in the other room, so I'm definitely kind of scared for what will happen if I draw these, so we'll see. All right, so here I have all of my different prompts folded up, and I'm gonna throw them in the hat. I don't even think this hat is a good shape for this. Stir a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna pick 3 things, but if one of them I know is a short book, then I'll probably go ahead and pick a 4th one. All right. This is really scary. I'm terrified. What am I gonna pick? Is it gonna be all stuff that I don't wanna read? All right. Ooh, we have Ruin by John Gwynne for our first selection. This should make Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative very happy. I know she is still waiting for me to do my review of Valor, and I'm really sorry it has taken this long because I really enjoyed the book. Okay, now for number 2. This is so scary. Oh my god. Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. So far, that is 2 of continued series that I really want to be reading. So maybe this is a magic hat. What do you guys think? It's kind of given me what I wanted. All right. Are we ready for the last one? This has been kind of tame so far. None of the really crazy stuff I put in here has come out. Let's see. Oh, that's not one of the starred ones. It looks like none of my husband's selections got picked. Ooh, wild card. You know, since it's a wild card, I feel like I am just going to pick again, even though that wasn't the point of this one, but I really want to see what's going to happen. All right, so fourth pick. Still going. Yeah, that doesn't feel, I'm waiting until I feel the right energy coming through my hand, so I know that it's the right book. Oh, I'm just messing things up in here. But. Pocket Apocalypse, Encrypted #4 by Seanan McGuire. Okay, I know this is quite a short book. They're all like 300 pages, and usually I can read them in like an afternoon. So I think we can pick one more. Free swap, draw again. Wow. I'm kind of happy I ended up picking this much stuff. Uh-oh, we got a starred one. That means it's one of my husband's. Okay, we got Crown of Feathers by, I'm not sure how to read the author's name, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna go grab the book after this. He wrote a note for me. He wrote, I don't remember what this is about. I think this is just a book I got as sort of part of a book shopping spree, but I'm gonna go find it on the bookshelf and bring it back to show to you guys. Okay, so this is what my husband put in. I think he just found this on the bookshelf. This is, I think, a YA fantasy. It is by Nikki Pal Preto. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And, wow, that's a long description on the back. It is about Phoenix Riders. All right, well, it looks like we'll be reading this one this month. And I've just had a request from him while I was getting this book to look and see what the other book he put in the hat was, because he really wants me to know and feel lucky that I didn't pick it. Okay, so I found the other starred one. Let's see what he put. That's just mean. Okay, he put The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, which is the first book in the Wheel of Time. And he wrote a note here. You keep saying you want to, so maybe this will be the push you need. Now, if he'd been paying attention, he would know that I've promised my best friend to start reading The Wheel of Time after I finish the Cosmere reread. So I'm going to start a Wheel of Time read in December, which I was already planning to do. So this is just cruel and unusual because he wanted me to do it at the same time as I was reading 2 books from the Stormlight Archive. So, you know, I'm glad he's looking out for my best interests this month, but I am pretty glad I didn't pick that one. Okay, so just to recap what we've picked out of the hat this month, we have Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. We have Pocket Apocalypse by Seanan McGuire. We have, I think that's going to be Ruin by John Gwynne. And then we have The Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pal Preto. And that's it. So I actually had a really fun time doing this. Comment down below if there's anything you want me to put in the hat for next month, or if there are any other fun like surprises or a wild card type prompts that you think I should be putting in here. So thanks for watching, and let me know what's on your October TBR.